So first of all, hello, welcome
Hello,
to
thank you.
Phoenix Rising International Film Festival. Can you please introduce yourselves and the film that you've brought along?
Me first? Okay. Hi, my name is Yasemin. I'm the set designer on The Motion, which is the movie that Lisa directed. I'm gonna give it to you.
Hello. Thank you so much for having us here. My name is Lisa, and I'm the director of The Motion. And this is Eva.
Hi, thanks so much for having us. I'm Eva. I'm the writer and assistant director of The Motion.
And a little bit about our film. So we are here competing in the experimental category of the film festival, and The Motion is a 8-minute film exploring the womanhood, the collective experience, the experience of being stuck in the motion. And it's really the story spoken by 4 women, but it's the story of one and so many. And this is the first part of the trilogy that we will be exploring further in the upcoming years.
Interesting, yeah. Now, first of all, I'm going to start off by saying, not to pile it on too much, but I really enjoyed The Motion.
Thank you so much.
Thought it has a very striking visual identity that, obviously as like set designers, directors, writers, it's very intentional. It feels all intentional. Can you speak a little bit about what the journey was to give it this identity of, it's black and white, it's very choppy, it's very well edited. Can you speak to that at all?
Definitely. So it was all intentional, from the decision to make it a 16mm film to every frame, the way we construct our frames, all of the props, the costumes, the placement, everything has intended meaning, and we do reference a lot of shots to the experimental filmmakers of the 60s and 70s, usually like the women who were working in New York, like Barbara Hammer, Maya Deren, Chantal Akerman, also like a big inspiration for us. But do you want to add about set design maybe?
I mean, yeah. As far as I got from my director, it was supposed to be this dreamy, feeling throughout all of it, and especially for example, the suitcase, it needed to be its own character, and everything we were making and putting out there needed to be this whole entity and needed to have a personality almost, because it needed to speak for what it was, and it needed to be this whole ethereal vibe, and yeah, I feel like that was just a big part of also the meaning behind it, what it feels to be a woman, whatever, it all kind of connects in that sense, and the way it eventually represents itself, it's yeah.
If I may add about the editing you mentioned, so we did reuse a lot of shots intentionally because we just wanted to be as sustainable as we can with our filmmaking, and basically with our editor we have a very close working relationship, and it was a lot of feedback sessions, and a lot, it took us, I think, 2 weeks to edit it all, and it was mainly just her letting her experiment with the medium, letting her feel it, and then our sound designer just also did an amazing job. Yeah, do you want to?
I don't know what I can add to that. But yeah, I think we gave every department a lot of creative freedom as well. So we had this set idea, but that didn't stop us from hearing out everyone's opinions and stuff. So it really became a collaboration of us all instead of this one hierarchical thing. It was a very a system where everyone's voice was equally as important, and that philosophy was also really important for us in the meaning of the movie. So communal experience, yeah.
Absolutely, and it's interesting you mentioned Chantal Akerman definitely got a lot of sort of Agnes Varda, New Wave, some daisies, very that in the editing.
Yeah.
Very iconic feminist films in the sort of experimental art. It's very much a women-led film. A lot of women behind the cameras as well. Can you speak to a little bit about being women in the film industry and how the importance of having it not just in front of the camera but also behind? Yeah.
Sure, yeah. So, like you mentioned daisies, this was definitely the reference behind our flower crown that our amazing, amazing costume designer did. So I just, one night I drew all of the like ideas that I had and I put it on a storyboard and then I just gave it to her and I was like, can you make a big flower crown out of the like white flowers, the bigger the better? And she was like, sure. And then in one night she constructed like this corset, the metal corset, and I think we got the flowers from IKEA and then just somehow she attached it. It was very heavy and our actress, we had to take it off her head in between the takes because it was hurting, but in the end it ended up looking so beautiful. But mainly as to the like working in the film industry as a woman, I mean, we're just stepping into it, so barely getting any experience. But so far, from what I can say, it has been nothing but a rewarding experience. And in many ways, we're thankful for our teacher who taught us about the experimental filmmaking and more like about the further exploration of senses of cinema. And when we find people who are going to work on our project, we try to see how they would interpret it, and then we decide whether we're going to work with them or not. And so far, everyone who works on our project is just an incredible human being. This is our first film. Most of the people don't have experience, so it's all based on this insanely creative minds that we were so lucky to meet along the way. Yeah. Do you want to add?
Yeah, no, like I agree with everything you said. I think it was very nice, like what our teacher, Erica Piolcini, shout out, she really taught us about this different way of like approaching cinema, which is not all about like intellectually rendering film, but really like feeling it and like being embodied within it. So that's really like, we have set meanings for the motion, of course, for ourselves, but at the end of the day, what we care about most is how people interpret it and how people feel after they watch it. So that was, and I think that's, in Hollywood, that's like a bit less of a thing what people like, enact right now. So I really like that kind of different approach. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's very clear, as mentioned earlier, it's all very intentional. You know, it is a work of art, of sort of interpretive art. Some of it's very, starkly obvious. In terms of the writing, was that written for the film, or was it sort of paired to it and you figured out, oh, this fits perfectly?
So basically, Lisa and I met in the women's experimental filmmaking class. I was already working on monologues, but just more of a creative writing than really a film. So I had no clue someone would ever read it, let alone like it would be a film. But then Lisa convinced me to send her some of my work, and where I like had like this monologue about kind of like this woman feeling stuck in her life and every day is the same and felt really detached and depressed. Like Jean Dielman by Chantal Akerman was a big inspiration for that. Lisa, like for me it was more conceptual, but Lisa has a great visual mind, just like Jasmine. So she really saw like these images, and that's why it works well together. So we talked so much about it, and then Lisa at the end put it in a screenplay.
Yeah, I mean, I just read it, and then one night on the tram, I asked her, like, can we make a film out of this? She was like, yeah, sure, I don't have any experience. That's okay, let's just go and, like, adapt it to the screenplay. So then we started meeting up in, like, dive bars in Amsterdam and seeing, like, I would just pitch my ideas, and then she would be like, oh my God, I was thinking about the same thing. And in the end of the day, we have very similar taste, and as to the films and the, like, film culture that we experience. Also, a big thanks to our teacher, Erica. We just interpreted those images and try to like put our feelings more through the visual language. But that's another thing about our film. We don't expect people to come out with the set experience or anything. So that can be a film for men, for women. It can be film for anyone. And it's really up to the interpretation. And different parts of our film we expect will like, touch people, and perhaps we will maybe get some more creative ideas rolling. Yeah.
Absolutely. I mean, talking about, meeting in dive bars and coming up with a film, that's rock and roll. That's what film's about to me. That's cool. And, it looked expensive. It looked like a solid film with a budget, especially with the set design and everything, the creative direction. You know, the shot with the mirror and it's smashing and everything, the reuse shots of that. It's great. Yeah.
I actually got the mirror for free out of a marketplace. I went through so many random people's houses to get so much stuff for free. So I think we had a budget for set design, but I really did my best to stay like as far below that as possible. I think we barely spent anything on the like mainly the location, but apart from that, it was a lot of like scouting for free stuff everywhere. So I'm glad it looked expensive though, because that was the goal. Like it was put together. There was like I did a lot of painting over it and putting roses in that. You can't even see that the mirror isn't actually a square. It's actually rounded at the top, and I had to like kind of edit that the way with the roses in there. But it looked amazing on screen. So I'm glad that it worked out like that.
No, it's very effective. You know, so that's the thing with filmmaking. It's, you know, patching the bits that you don't want to see and making it look like you want it to see. You mentioned at the start that this is the first part of a trilogy, is that correct? Can you speak a little bit more about that?
That is absolutely correct. So like Eva mentioned, she first wrote 3-part monologue, and later, of course, it changed. And right now, after we have already premiered the motion, we're working on the second part, the fragmentation, and then our last part is called deliverance. And it all kind of it's like a cycle that we explore of womanhood, of the idea of being stuck in those like place in between where your identity is very much formed by those around you, by the societal expectations, stereotypes, and a lot of things that we as women get like constructed, like our identity is constructed by the things around us, the social conditioning. And so in the first part that we watched here today, our characters don't really realize it, so they're stuck in the motion, and then bits and bobs, they start getting this kind of like tension, this feeling, this there's something that's not right. They can't really put a finger to it, but then we see the broken mirror, which, by the way, we just took a mirror outside on the sand and we broke it with a hammer, and it looked absolutely amazing because Yasemin is wizard, the witch. And what we did later, we rewrote the dialogue a little bit. We went to Belgium with Eva for 2 days, and then we sat down. We did like our own residency, because no one would give us residency, so we did our own. And in the second part, our characters will be placed in the forest, where we are reimagining the old tale of Alice in Wonderland and interpreting it with our actresses. And in this second part, they're gonna try to get out of the motion.
Yeah, so when the first part we were going a bit more for like this dream world nostalgia where people feel like I've seen this before but I don't know where, kind of like that kind of feeling. And now we're really going for a gritty feeling, for like, because the process of becoming liberated is not a clean one. It's like to become like free from these constraints, we really need to fight for it, and it's really hard and tough. So it's going to be a lot of references to like going like performance, materiality, like trying to go back to this what's familiar and what's routinely, even though they know in their heart it doesn't make sense anymore. But it all has to happen. Like the fragmentation is everything that comes between being stuck and being liberated. And so the third part, the in-between space. So it's a challenge, but definitely very excited. And we're in pre-production right now. We have the script, so yeah, we'll see. Fingers crossed.
Absolutely, I'm going to be looking out for that one, genuinely. I could sit here and talk to you all day about this. I really could. I've got 100 more questions, but I'm going to leave you with, I need some help with something. I've got a sentence, and I need you to finish it for me. Okay? Independent cinema is important because...
Okay, fine. Independent cinema is important because it gives the voices for those who are shut out.
Okay, in my opinion, independent cinema is important because it teaches us new ways to engage with our own senses and new ways to understand the world, which also I think will create for a more connected and empathetic world.
I'm just gonna say the same as you in different words. Basically, I feel like but I completely agree. It's like gives a podium to voices that aren't always heard, and I think that's a really important thing. Like everyone's intentions and visions can come to life at the screen, and I think it's a really important thing for everyone's voice to be heard eventually. So yeah.
Absolutely, I'll take that. Thank you so much for coming, guys.
Thank you for having us.
Emotion.